I shall now invite the Zimbabwe Institute of Engineers, represented by Dr. Diana. Thank you so much. Shall we give him a round of applause as he comes to the
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm Dr. Wilson BANDA. Dr. Diara is the Zimbabwe Institute of Engineers CEO. Unfortunately, he has some engagement and I'm representing him. I see on the program there was also supposed to be an Engineering Council of Zimbabwe representative who is Dr. Engineer Rafemoyo. So I will also speak on his behalf. So I'm representing Dr. Diara and Dr. Rafemoyo. Right, I'm BANDA, like I said. I act as the country registrar for the Zimbabwe Institute of Engineers, anchoring the Membership Services and Training Office. And my speech is going to focus mainly on two things. I'm going to talk briefly about who we are as Zimbabwe Institute of Engineers, and we call ourselves ZIE. And please note, we are an institution of engineers and not an institute. We often get offended when people write to us and they call us Zimbabwe Institute. During that time, it was during the Wazungus. So I think very few of us were born by that time. And so we have existed since 1953 up to date. We changed the names from the Rhodesia Institution of Engineers at the attainment of independence to Zimbabwe Institution of Engineers. But our cause has not changed since 1953. And we have a collective membership of over 11,000 engineering professionals, and these take on board various grades. Those who are studying engineering, those who have done, we call them engineering technicians, and those who have done engineering, we call technologists, and those who have done engineering at degree level, whom we call engineers. So when we talk of engineers, we at times use the word generally to refer to engineering professionals, including even the engineering technicians. And we write on the strength of an act of parliament. This one is a private act which was done in the 40s and then amended in 1987. So we write on the strength of a professional body, or ZI Act, done in 1987. Yes, it has been amended subsequently. And we are regulated by the Engineering Council of Zimbabwe, who are ECZ. Like Mr. Ben was saying, before the coming in of the Engineering Council of Zimbabwe, we were more or less like a voluntary professional body, who some people thought was toothless. But with the passage of time, in an attempt to put some teeth on ourselves, we then liaised again with the parent ministry and then came up with the Engineering Council Act, which is a public act. I'm happy there's a legal representative for the association who can explain to you what are the consequences of having a private act and a public act. In other words, the Engineering Council of Zimbabwe is like a quasi-parastatal. It is a government entity representing the powers that be. And its role is to make sure there is order in engineering practice in the country. One was saying our existence and the existence of the Engineering Council of Zimbabwe makes sure that there is order in the engineering practice. And it makes sure engineering is only done by the rightfully qualified personnel, be it at technician level, technologist level, or engineer level. We are trying to weed out those who, I normally use this term, masquerade as engineers. We have seen even on television, some people, they come out on television and they address themselves as engineer so and so when they are not. And even if you go to Magaba, you will find there are companies over the show written so and so engineering, so and so engineering. We say by law that is not proper. It's misrepresentation of fact. Because the moment you say I'm an engineer so and so, people view you differently. Or even if you say my company is, I've seen you introducing your companies. Someone saying that engineering, that engineering. And law says if you are not registered with Engineering Council of Zimbabwe via ZECSA, there's no way you call yourself an engineering entity. Right. So we are saying our mandate is protection normally of the engineering consumers. I'm glad I saw it again even on your mission statement. There is where you made reference to the consumers, which is excellent on the mission. We are saying as practitioners, we are there to serve the nation, and the nation are the consumers. Normally people, when they come to ZECSA and then they say, what benefits do I get to become a member? I normally say, we are not looking at your benefits per se, but we are looking at the benefits for the consumer. So we are there to make sure the consumer is given the rightful product or the rightful service by the rightful personnel with the rightful technical qualifications. I normally give examples where if you get ill today and you are taken to a theater, normally when you're semi-conscious, you may not even bother to ask the qualifications of the guy who is taking you to the theater. If he is someone who is masquerading as a medical doctor, you know your consequences. It will be very, very difficult for you to be resuscitated. It's death. So we are simply saying, the moment you take an engineering service or product to the consumer must have 99.9% confidence that you are going to deliver. If it's something below that grade, then you may stop doing the job. Right. And we also ensure that investors into engineering get the best value for money. There are people who are not engineers. For example, most of you here are people with their own monies. We have invested in energy enterprises. But even line construction, you don't even know possibly what is supposed to be done. We are saying you must have the rightful people to do the line construction. In memory, then you just look at your bank statement, whether monies are coming in or monies are going out. The technical bit, you leave it to the technical people. So our mandate as ZECSA and the Engineering Council is to make sure parikuitwa line construction, line maintenance. Chief, sorry to use you. You may have your monies to say, they like my fun. Don't tell them, no, like me, I think they married. Could have the experience, rough idea. But we say, you may not be in a position to advise accordingly if you don't have the technical know-how. Hallelujah. Yes. Right. Right. I talked of people masquerading as engineers or engineering professionals when they are not. I normally give an example. 2 years ago, some investor brought a transformer. They're going to use a mine in Marsh Central. Then the transformer was commissioned. After a few days, it pegged. So what do? We send our investigation team and realize the transformer ichidresswa but paneka sensor kanoiswa pa transformer kana yakucommission. That sensor was not connected, so the transformer pegged. Contractor akaita is one of you. That means angashandisa munhu asingazivi over the phone. Zvichiitwa kumine, I think after Nyadire Teachers College then. And then the engineer possibly was here in Harare, instructing someone in at Nyadire. Itaso. Transformer no go peg. So what we do as ZECSA now, we send expert professionals to go and check what could have happened. There was now a lot of blame, what do you call it? Yeah, blaming, you know. The contractor was saying, Zent, yaka dress transformer, yaka certify transformer is right. Saka Zent, ameno shayakaita. Zent ikati sitaka rana transformer, yaka is right. Kwimima commissioner, taka commissioner. Yai rana transformer, yai rana. Konga zeta se anu batafu. Mavava zvadinga transformer yafu. Sorry to those who cannot hear Shona. My mother was Shona, my father is Malawi, so I cannot speak in Cheo for now, though I'm quite conversant in the language. Right, so what are we saying? So we sent an expert who then realized, funny part of it, God was so grateful. The sensor did not burn. It was there, nicely tagged on the transformer and charged.